Well, this is a lot of what it's like here where I live. You get a lot of these little pothole marshes or little ponds that are only a few feet deep. Some have fish, some don't. Most are too shallow to have any kind of good fishing. And it's all surrounded by oaks and hickories and cherries and willow and cottonwood and elm and all different kinds of shrubs. We have a lot of lakes, lots of streams, lots of rivers. We're usually sitting at about 1,000 feet above sea level, give or take a couple hundred feet. Not a lot of big hills to climb until you get further north. I'm basically just out hiking, enjoying the weather and hoping that I might come across some edible mushrooms or something. We are starting to get some color in the trees now. A lot of the trees are still green yet. There's another little marsh. All oak ridges and marshes. Most of these areas have been logged and farmed and abandoned and have regrown. Getting into the woods now, I'm going to start looking for mushrooms. Here's a good example of how you can tell this used to actually be an open field and was farmland. This right here is an old fence row. That's facing south, and this is facing north. And you can see there's a big old dead oak right there. If I follow this down, I'll probably run into a few big dead oaks here and there, and likely find some hen of the woods mushrooms. But also, if you look over here, you see these big rocks that are piled up. You'll find those, because that's what they did. They left the one row of trees sometimes for a fence row, and they piled all the rocks that they pulled out of the field along the edge, and that's that. Kind of neat. It seems kind of strange to be able to look back and picture this as a field. This right here may have actually been a road. I believe it was, if you look at it. I mean, this comes up to here and it tees off and heads east. And there's somewhat of a level spot there where probably used to be a road that maybe it was just a 2-track or something that went in between these fields. But that's another dividing line right there. You got another row of old oaks and another row of piled up rocks. This is a prime oak for hen of the woods. I thought I might find some growing on it, but there isn't any. I'm gonna head east. There's that fence row that I came down heading east. Got right down to the end here. And here's a big old dead oak. And sure enough, There's a hen of the woods mushroom. This one is really light in color. It's on the northeast side of the tree. Must not get much light. This one's pretty good. The pores are still white, but it's just getting to the point. In another day or two it wouldn't be worth picking. And that one is pretty good size. It's probably as big as a, I don't know, as big as a soccer ball, maybe as big as a basketball. Probably weighs 5 pounds, 6 pounds. Good eating. I already have enough. I'm not gonna pick it, but figured I'd show you it anyway. Grifola frondosa, hen of the woods mushroom. They can be very light like that, almost white, tan, brown, and all the way to gray or almost black even. Just depends on how much sunlight they get, and I think there's a few other factors that go into the color. But as long as they have white pores, they all taste pretty good. I bet there's some more around here. If I headed around this little marsh, if I went around and cut back in, I'd probably find a few more. But I'm gonna get back out to the main trail here and cut on across and see what else I can find. A lot of acorns this year. Lots of acorns. Sure the animals are happy. Might be turning out to be a nice fall mushroom. I'm not sure what that is. Looks like some species of agaricus. It has a dark brown spore print, but I don't think I've ever seen that before. They're pretty small, whatever they are. I generally leave mushrooms like that alone. Typically you don't find them in large enough numbers to make it worth learning to identify them, unless you're just interested in finding out what they are. Here's another hen of the woods mushroom. This one's on a little small oak. Oh, it's a nice one too. Nice and firm. And it still has white pores. The pores are starting to open up. You can actually see the little openings. But it's still white enough and firm enough that that would be a real good eating mushroom. Hen of the woods is a fairly easy mushroom to find. They blend into the ground and trees pretty good, just like a hen grouse would, or a grouse in general, really. But as long as you keep your eyes peeled and keep checking the oaks, you could really find a couple 100 pounds a day if you wanted to. And they're pretty good eating mushroom. This is a mature sassafras tree. Even though you can't see the leaves, the bark is really easy to distinguish. I don't know of any other tree around here that has bark like that. It's deeply furrowed and just has a really distinct look. If you get out and you pay close attention to the bark on the trees, you'll find that most trees have a bark that's all their own. And even if you can't find the leaf, you can identify it just by the bark. And that's especially useful in the winter when the leaves on the ground will be covered with snow and there won't be any leaves on the tree itself. I'm not too great with tree identification. But there's a lot of trees in Michigan to learn. I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is some species of tricholoma. There's an edible tricholoma species. They call it the mouse. It's gray in color, and it's usually a sign that the mushroom season is about to come to an end. It's one of our last mushrooms in the fall. And a lot of people eat that mushroom, but there are several other species of mushrooms that look very, very similar to it. And a couple of them are known to be toxic. So, just my own personal opinion, if you're gonna hunt mushrooms, you really need to make your own decisions on what you want to eat and what is safe in your mind, because in my mind they're not a safe mushroom to eat because they have poisonous lookalikes that are very hard to distinguish. I'm not sure what that is.